Everyone, from me, Brent Graham of goodforthegame.co.za. Welcome to this Saturday quarterfinal betting build-up. And the man I got with me to talk about some of the games coming up today is Oracle, the Oraclepedia. I like to call him the Oracle, the one and only Oracle, obviously. Gavin Cohen, how are you, mate? Great to have you on the show.
Yeah, very good, Brent. Thanks very much. It's an interesting quarterfinal. I'll tell you, I've got one bet alive where I backed Argentina to get to the quarterfinal before the tournament started. And I'm not sure if you saw the prices of that, but that came in at 11-10. And I see that it's, obviously as much as 16-10 now for Argentina to beat Wales in the game today. So I didn't get a lot of value. I thought I got value, but I didn't. And in fact, I took the bet thinking we were going to beat England and we'd be playing the second team of the other group rather than the first team.
Right.
Sorry, rather than I thought we'd be playing Fiji. Actually, I thought it would be Argentina, Fiji, but as it happens, it ended up being Wales. So I've got a shout, but obviously I lost not much value there. But otherwise, other than that, I've got South Africa to win the tournament. I've taken South Africa first, New Zealand second. I think I took that at 14 or 16-1, something like that a while ago. But other than that, I've got nothing live really. I've just taken a multiple this weekend of the 4 Southern Hemisphere teams. Came in at just over 40-1. Thought that was a bit of value. But I'm quite excited for these games. I really am. I think it's going to be. It's also it's wonderful when you get a World Cup that is at a time zone that's very.
Enjoy it while it lasts, Gav, because we're not going to get that for the next 8 years.
Yes, that's right. We're getting the Australia and America one. In fact, people that might have a punt won't even be watching this World Cup because they'll be 16 years old or 18 years old before they see the next one. So you're right. Yeah, could be a long time.
Excellent. Well, welcome to the guys in the live chat. We got Sean Bow joining us from Port Elizabeth. Johan. He's coming in. He put his treble on yesterday's show, of course, and JJ Bauer saying, Goeiemiddag, manne, goeiemiddag. JJ, kom ons kies 'n paar wenner vandag. My Afrikaans is not too hot on that one. But Oracle,
I hope he's not saying let us guess a few winners. Let's find a few winners is probably the right way to go. Guessing a few winners shouldn't be on our agenda.
Yeah, and what we'll do is we'll put together a little comp for the guys in the live chat. We'll work it out. Maybe talk about the first game and then come back and work it out. I'll let your great mathematical mind go to work. We'll come up with something for the guys where they can win a voucher if they get within range. But Gav, first game coming up 5:00. We've got Wales up against Argentina. Now the Welsh basically 4.5. I'll quickly check Boyle Sports here as a matter of interest. But generally speaking, around 4.5 point favourites, the Welsh. And it looks to me as though the market's been fairly stable all week. Hasn't been a lot of movement.
No, Brent, there hasn't. It's come out at 4 and it's sort of stayed at 4. And I think, everyone's looking at this as that Zemmet character getting a whole lot of tries and, smashing Australia, I suppose, for lack of a better English sentence. I don't know. For me, the form in this particular Wales, in horse racing, we talk about form, and I think form is very important in this group because Wales have come out of the weakest, worst performing, #rubbish group of the 4 groups, pool, sorry. So it's difficult to read how good Wales actually are. I mean, we saw Argentina get England on that red card first up. They weren't able to do anything with it. Ended up getting it George forwarded by 4 drop goals or 3 drop goals or whatever it is. Wales were very lucky to beat Fiji. Fiji going over the line, dropping the ball 3 times, and obviously that last opportunity at the end where the guy dropped the ball. Well, he knocked the ball forward with just the line and one defender coming at him, which he could have stepped quite easily. I think Wales were very lucky to win that game. They beat a really rubbish Australian team. We saw how Portugal dealt with Australia. So, it's almost like you've got this odds-on horse that beats a field by 6 lengths, but they've beaten nothing, and it'll get beaten the next time out. I think Argentina needed to have that bad game against England and come back. They came back slowly. They battled quite a bit against Samoa, but they beat them and they beat Japan. And they've been here before. I don't know. I just think the value lies with Argentina. I mean, if the bookmakers had put them at 11 or 10 before the tournament to get to the semi-final, today you're getting 16 or 10. I think that's, it's 50% more, nearly 50% more. I think the value is definitely with Argentina. I wouldn't even bother with a plus. I'd go take them on the board. Obviously, in running, if you want to cover it, you can. But I think Argentina have got the measure of Wales. They're not good enough. Yes, they're well coached, but they haven't given me the results to give me anything here. I just don't have it. I can't back Wales. I can't back Wales at 5 to 10. I can't back them at -4. For me, it's Argentina on the board or no bet. Just watch the game. But I like Argentina. In fact, I'm going to suggest this is probably the best bet of the weekend. It's overpriced. It's way overpriced. Or underpriced, sorry.
That's not good news for me, because I sent out my newsletter about an hour ago. My best bet of the weekend was Wales -4.5. I must say it's a weekend where I'm looking forward to the rugby, make no mistake, but I'm not strong on anything. I've changed my mind a lot of times. I just think, for me, Wales are underestimated a bit by the bookies. I agree with Kamal coming on here saying Matera a big miss, because I think he is going to be a big miss for Argentina. And for me, I've just actually been hell of impressed by Wales. They know how to play World Cup knockout rugby, but it's not my most confident pick. But of the 4 games, it's the one I sort of came down on. I like Wales. But what's fascinated me, Gav, about all of these games is you can have 2 punters like you and me sitting here on every single game. There's been differences of opinion. I've had guys tell me Ireland are absolute good things, and I've got other guys like Southpaw on the forum who's an experienced rugby punter, and he's saying, guys, New Zealand 13 to 10, grab it, So it's actually quite an amazing. I don't think I can ever recall quarterfinals where there wasn't really one team which everyone was just backing. It's everyone just own opinion, and it makes for some fascinating discussion as well.
Absolutely. This is I don't know how else to put it. It's fantastic. Yes, it's look, it would have been nice if we'd had the semi-finals that everybody wanted. Ireland in one, France in the other, New Zealand in the other, and South Africa in the other. That would have been great, but World Rugby stuffed that up a bit and have given us, what do they say? You've got to play the cards you were dealt. And in this case, we've been dealt these, and I think you're right. They've given differences of opinion to a lot of people. It's difficult to tell exactly who, I've taken my multiple, but it's 40 to 1, Brent. It's not 6 to 1 or 8 to 1. This is
you're not putting the mortgage on.
I could get all 4 wrong. Absolutely. I mean, this could be a Northern Hemisphere semi-final all in. I mean, who knows? Anything can happen.
Anything could happen, that's for sure. Bitsy coming in saying, good morning. Bitsy, good to have you on the show. Just want to bring up quickly, Couch's writing for Good for the Game for Boyles, and he's got what he calls the Boyle Sports Pie Shop. And initially, I'm going to talk in fractions. It was 12 to 1. He's going Reece Zammit to score 2 tries or more, and that is, I think, 15 to 1, if I'm correct, then at Boyle. So, Gav, I know those type of bets aren't necessarily your cup of tea, but it's a great option for punters who maybe don't want to get too involved in the game and just have a bit of an interest.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not. You know what? I've laid Couch a few bets over the years. I've always laughed when he's picked these, his hookers to score the last try or the first try. But you know what? He's got a good eye for it, and he's doing the homework. I'm not. So I'm just guessing. If anything, if I'm to be honest, I just say follow him because he's finding them. He's finding them at 16 to 1. I mean, that one with Quacker scoring last and he nearly got the Dion Fourie one. Jeez, if Dion Fourie had scored that try against Ireland at the end, South Africa win the game. That's the kind of stuff he's finding. So, Couch knows his stuff. Don't be a mug. He's he's not a mug. Let's put it that way. So, follow the guy. I mean, that's cracking value. I'm just, you know what? I just generally think those are quite badly priced, but yes, with a bit of a boost, they're fine. I just think bookmakers bet at 150, 180% on those kind of things, and it's not great for the punters.
Yeah, no, I'm with you then. And also, I do think that this is going to be, I'm expecting low-scoring games this weekend in general. So for a guy to get 2 tries is a big ask, but then you're getting 15-1 or whatever. As you say, can't do a lot of damage. But Gav,
Right.
before we chat about the next game, maybe let's come up with a little comp. You were saying something before we came on air, thinking that the guys have to take the winning margins starting in the first game and progressing to the fourth game and multiply them out. You want to run that through with us?
But we worked out that would be about 3 million to 1. So that's pretty stupid.
That was the total points. The total points. Let's run through an example.
So we can give a voucher away here. We can give away 500 Rand voucher if you get within 5. So if you get it correctly, obviously that's fine, but within 5. I would say the best way to do this is the multiple of the margins. So let's give an example. Let's say each team wins by 5. It doesn't matter who wins. You don't have to say Wales by 5. You just need to say 5. Yes. So 5 times 5, 25 times 5 is 125 times 5 is 625. So yes, if you get within let's say 25. So if you get 600 and the result is 625, you'll get 500 Rand. Otherwise, you'll get 250 Rand voucher if you get it. If you're the closest. So that's quite a cool one.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. So the guys that are thinking that England might win by 30, for instance, will have a different result to, my example of each team winning by 5. So yeah, this can be quite wide. The range here could be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 against, 30 times 5 times 7 times 12. It could be anything.
Right. So, guys, you can let us have that in the live chat. You might want to do a little bit of maths, or otherwise just take an absolute flyer based on Gavin's example. And, closest will get a 250 voucher. And if you get within, what did we say, Gav? 50?
50. Oh, let's 25. Say 50. Yeah. If you get within 50, you get 500.
Either side. That's fair enough. Because, it only takes one game where a team win by 20 or something. Yeah, but that's the fascinating thing. The next game's only by 1. Then it brings it right, it sort of leaves it there. I actually like this. We must give some more thought to this definitely on future shows as well.
Yeah, so I just, I watched your show on Thursday night, Brent, and I thought to myself, somebody's getting a prize on, a lucky draw and whether they get picked or not. And I thought, yes, let's put a little bit of skill into that at least. If you're going to give somebody a prize for, entering a competition, at least, they've got to come up with something. I don't know. So that's what I was thinking. Yeah. I don't know. I just try to make it a little bit skillful as opposed to lottery stuff.
Yeah, no, 100%. I just want to bring up Winslow's post here. I think this is probably about the last punter standing competition we're running on the forum this week. Switch bitch is saying, why don't I approve them? So what happens, Winslow, and thanks for bringing my, I do say in the thing there to email me if there's any problems, because we get spammed like you cannot believe in our forum. So what happens is a lot of the stuff goes to junk mail and I might have missed it. So I'll certainly look that one up after the show. Carl has come in with a 48, so he's expecting really low margins in the games, and that's certainly a run.
But what is that? That's 3. That's not even 3 times 3 times 3, because 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. That's over that. So he's got a couple of 2s and 1s in there.
Fair enough. I mean, and that's the thing. If you can get a 2 and a 1, obviously that brings it right in. So anyway, we've got Carl there, 48. Johanna's not entering the comp with this one, but he's saying Wales by 3 points. And just to mention to the guys, so we've got a couple of things. I'm just going to make quick mention of them now. We've got the last punter standing. That's going to end at 5 o'clock. Well, you can enter until the start of the Wales game there. That's on the Good for the Game forum. We've got some nice vouchers up for grabs. And then we've also got a Super Brew competition. And what I like about this one is we're starting it from the quarterfinals. So if you're in Super Brew, and it's called a clean slate, and if you're in Super Brew, and even if you are in contention in your other pools, you can still enter this one. It won't impact that at all. But a lot of guys have lost interest in Super Brew now because they've sort of fallen out of contention. And what we got there is a poker bet to put up a few vouchers. But if someone can get, and Gavin, I'd be interested in your thoughts on just how difficult this would be. If someone can pick all 8 winners on this new Super Brew League that get the margin, so you're within 5 either way, they're gonna put 20 grand in for that if you can get that. I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's got to be a big prize because that's hell of a hard. Wow.
No, it is hard. It is hard. I actually suggested it to them. But what I will say is if you are going to pick margins, the playoffs is probably the time where you do have more of a chance. If you can pick the winner, if you could go by 5 points, there's a good chance your win will be between 1 and 10. But obviously, it is a real long shot, that. But it's called a clean slate. You can look for that and enter that as well. Let's see if we got any more coming in here. Johan says 216. So that's his his go at it. So yeah, Johanna, I think I would probably come in some sort of a
So
similar.
he's got. I'll tell you what he's got. At 216, he's got the 6 to the power of 3. So he's got 206 and a 0. He's got a draw. We'll do this on full time. Yes, so we'll do this on full time to give him a chance. If all 3 are 6 and a 0, then he's a winner. That's 216. Sorry, my maths is very good. I picked that up quickly.
Right. And so what were you saying about the full time and the draw there?
No, I'm saying that the result would be on the 80 minutes. So for this guy to win, well, if he's done what I thought he's done, he's got 3 teams by 6 and 1 by 0, because that's how he's got to 216.
But here's a question I have to ask you, Gav. What happens if the final game is a draw? Now, if you times anything by 0, it's 0, right?
Well, we'll just ignore that.
Ignore it. No, that's perfect.
So it's a scratching, yes. If it's a draw, it's a scratching. It will fall away.
So I want to bring one more up before we talk about the next game. I think you're going to find this an interesting one. And Edward has come up with some really shrewd punts on the good for the game for him. He's gone 20,736. He's expecting some big margins to.
But not necessarily, That could be, well, I don't know, 20 times 20 is 400 times. Yeah, no, he's out. It can't be 20,000. That's massive. That's not going to happen.
Right. Well, let's chat about the next game, Gav. And I want to ask you this because we didn't even get a chance really to talk before this. Are we going to do another show tomorrow to focus on the 2 quarterfinals tomorrow, or do you want to just cover them today?
No, yeah, let's do them now, Brent. I'll tell you why. I'm involved in 2 mates of mine are running in the Cape Town Marathon. I'm going to be down in Greenpoint most of the day, and I don't know what condition I'll be at this time tomorrow afternoon. So, yeah, I don't even know where I'll be at this time. So, yeah, let's talk about all the 4 games now. That's far better.
Okay, 100%. Well, let's move on to the next game. It's, of course, what I consider the biggest, one of the 2 big games on the weekend. It's Ireland up against New Zealand. Ireland were priced up favourites, and they're pretty much stuck there. I've seen them go 2.5, come into 1.5. But, Gav, there's also a number of punters who say New Zealand could win this. I've changed my Super Brew pick 3 or 4 times. I must tell you that I'm currently in the All Black camp. I've just got a feeling that Ireland are going to pay the price for a lot of game time in the legs for some of their players, and that New Zealand are going to come out on top. I've gone half-time, full-time at 13-2, Ireland/New Zealand. What are you doing on this game? What are your thoughts?
Brent, in horse racing, I love my horse racing terms. They've got a thing called third run after a rest. And in New Zealand's case, we beat them in Twickenham comfortably. France beat them, the following week. I'm not going to count the Italy game. This is the 3rd big game in a row. So, coming out of that Tri-Nations Rugby Championship, their 3rd game is now against Ireland tonight. There's a couple of other factors at play. Ireland are sitting on possibly matching the record of England and New Zealand with maximum wins in a row, or total wins in a row, whatever you want to call it, or whatever people call it. When we were sitting in that position with Gary Teichmann and I forget the coach's name. What's his name?
Australia.
No, man, the other one. No, the one that's on TV.
Mallet was going for the record, yeah.
Yeah. So, we were minus 6 against Wales that day. I think it was Wales. I don't think I'm wrong. I think it was Wales we were playing. And we got we lost. I think we lost by 6. I can't remember exactly, but it was so much pressure on us to get that record. I don't know. This is tough for and the 3rd issue for Ireland is that they've never got out of quarterfinal. That's huge, Brent. Yeah. That's massive. This is mental stuff. This is going to be. I
agree with you. It's going to be. I mean, mentally, they're going to be nervous, and that. But I do think that this is a better Ireland side than anything I've seen before from Ireland. I think they're well capable of going all the way. But I just think this game is going to be an almost coin toss game, really. And the start is going to be fascinating because I think we're going to see the most hectic 20 minutes of rugby because both of these sides are known for fast starts. And if New Zealand can produce what they did against us, I think it was in Auckland at Mount Smart in that rugby championship game. And if Ireland can sort of produce what they did against Scotland, we're in for one hell of a game here. What is your thinking in terms of points on this game? I see 44.5. I mean, generally speaking, I'm thinking low scoring, but these are the sort of sides that could just put on a 60-pointer and have 2 points between them in the end.
Yeah, sorry, I just lost my track there and I started rambling on. But just to answer the initial question, I just think it's, New Zealand are such a good team on paper, and my mate Charles Savage, which I'm sure a lot of people know who he is. I used to work with him at Global Trading, Easy Equities. He said to me in the 1990, I think it was 1999, there's no such thing as a bad New Zealand team. And yes, I know Henrik will tell me that they're badly coached, and he's probably right. But the reality is they're such a good team. You cannot write them off. I'm with you. I think New Zealand win this game. And I think there's too much pressure on Ireland. I don't think they're going to be able to deal with it. I was listening to your guy on the Thursday night show, the New Zealander, talking about Gibson Park and the other character who were average players in Super Rugby, and now they're shining because they're playing for Ireland. I can't be taking Ireland at favourites in this match. Yes, they've won they've won 2 of the last 3 times they've played New Zealand. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how many times it is, but yeah, I can't be taking Ireland in this game, and I don't know, points, and these points lines, Brent, they're sitting at like the low 40s.
Yes.
That can break out in 2 seconds. It can be a 27-16 game, and it's all over, and a couple of tries at the end of the game. I'd be very nervous going low here. I think the right thing to do here is to hope for the first 20 or 25 minutes being 6-3 or 3-0 or 6-0, and then you go over when you're getting a 37 or a 36, because I think this is going to be between 40 and 45, and it could even be slightly over 45 just with a kick. They are going to take their penalties when they get the chance. It's just tough. I wouldn't be climbing into anything like under 43 or under 44. Yeah, it's just too dangerous. You're going to sweat the whole game.
Especially in this game, because both of these sides are well capable. They both play rugby to score tries. Yes, they're going to take the points when they're on offer. But, if I look at and we'll come to it now, the Bok-France games may be a different story. I can see the Boks just really grinding. And we might get something like that 13-8 score that we got when Ireland played the Boks. So you've got to look at the teams as well. But let's move on then to the third game. That takes place on Sunday, Gav. England here favourites up against Fiji, -7.5, -8.5, depending on where you shop. This is a very interesting game. I mean, I actually kept it at 10.5, but that's not to say I wanted to back the minus. In fact, I put the good for the game preview up earlier. I'm going Fiji on the board at 28-10 as one of my bets, and I've also taken +8.5. I think Fiji, despite not looking great in their last couple of games, are going to push England close.
Yes, Brent, we saw before the tournament, I backed them. I think they were something ridiculous like 8-1 or 6-1 or 7-1. It was a big price, and they won the game. And I remember my wife saying, "Geez, your son's team is winning," because he'd called it earlier in the day before he'd gone out for the day. Let's go back to that Wales game. I mean, they're sitting on dropping the ball over the line, 3 times, and dropping the ball at the end. They could have beaten Wales by 15 to 20 points in that match. Wales' tries were very soft, especially that one where he kicked the ball up and into the corner in play, so not in a fixed position. And the Fijian catches that ball. It's a try on the other side. That's a 14-point swing. I mean, anything could have happened in that situation. So I think, Fiji are just a little bit more disciplined, and they catch the passes and not put them down, and they don't do stupid crap like they did against Portugal. They can win the game, of course, and I think at close to 3-1, I think between 5-2 and 3-1, depending on where you go, I think there's definitely value. England have shown us absolutely nothing. They were lucky to win that game against Argentina. Argentina switched off when the red card had arrived. They thought they'd won the game already, as did Fiji when they played Portugal. They probably thought they'd won the game already. They had to battle back to get their log point. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, don't bother about the 8.5 here, because England can win this game by 30. So you're better off just taking the 5-2 to 3-1, whatever you get at your bookmaker, to win the game on the board and enjoy it. And if Fiji are leading at halftime, you can probably do a bit of a cover bet. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big cover bet punter, so Yeah, I just think the value lies with Fiji. And yeah, as I said, it's part of my four-way multiple. New Zealand, all the Southern Hemisphere. In fact, I don't even know if Fiji are in the Southern Hemisphere. I'm assuming they are. I can't remember geographically, and I'm normally quite good with.
Yes.
I'm normally quite good with my my geography. So yeah, I think they're pretty close to the equator. But yes, I would say, yeah, Fiji on the board is the value. England have given us nothing to suggest they should be 3 to 10 favourites or whatever they are, or 5 to 10 or 4 to 10 or whatever. It's not good enough for me.
I like Johan's comment here. He says he compares them to the Pumas Currie Cup rugby team. You want to back them when they're underdogs. You don't want to back them when they're favourites. And they kind of showed us that the last two games. They were big favourites, and they really stumbled their way through. They're the sort of side, I think, who likes to play as underdogs. Olga coming in there, Fiji by 1. There's another comment I wanted to bring up just because I was very much thinking along the same lines. Kamal Chowdhury saying, strange selections from England, and I'm with you there. You know, I would have played Ford. Personally, I know people say he's not that such a great defender. I would have had Ford at 10. I thought he was brilliant against Argentina. And from being a massive Owen Farrell fan a few years ago, I'm not a big Farrell fan. He's one of the reasons why I'm looking to oppose England in this one. Gav, we got one more game to talk about. It's without a doubt for probably most of the people watching the show. It's without a doubt the big game of the weekend. We've got France up against South Africa. Some interesting team selections by South Africans. Reinach playing at scrum half there. But overall, what we've gone for is one incredibly experienced team, especially the pack. Loads of experience. Dwayne van Meulen coming back. But the handicap here has also been stable. We've got France minus 1.5, so very narrow favourites against the box. Where's the money been coming? I presume locally it's been coming for the box. And what are you going to do?
Yeah, listen, South Africa will always back South Africa. I was talking to an Australian, and I said to him, you know, the last World Cup, England were in massive trouble, the bookmakers, with England. You know, so they had this, and you remember, I mean, they were overpriced. South Africa were overpriced in that final. They were 2 to 1, I think we were getting. It was ridiculous. In fact, I remember taking minus 15 at 20 to 1 South Africa, which arrived. Brent, yeah, in South Africa, all the bookmakers are standing South Africa. In fact, most of them have got boosts where they're giving either more money if South Africa wins, or they're giving you your money back, or they're giving you, you know, have basically free bet kind of stuff. There's loads of that going on. So, yeah, the bookmakers are hoping South Africa don't win. And I would imagine the Irish and French bookmakers are feeling exactly the same way. No, you know, these countries don't want their team to win because they're going to pay out. And, yeah, I think France are should be favourites. I do agree with that. They're at home. They have shown us nothing that suggests they shouldn't be favourites. South Africa have lost a game. They haven't. That Ramos character's in great form. The guy coming back from the injury, can't remember who smashed him, but he got smashed in the nose. I don't know if he's coming on. Yeah, I don't know if he's coming on with a mask on like some of them do. Reinach, I think, is a great choice. Faf's had his day in the World Cup. My wife, she loves Faf. My son tells me he's only there because he won the World Cup in 2019. I think Kobus Reinach is fantastic. He scored a couple of tries. He showed us that he's not scared to take a dart to the right or the left or the back of the ruck. So, yeah, I think he's got the right choice there. Lebok, obviously not great at kicking recently, and except when he saw Pollard get 4 in a row, he suddenly learned how to kick and got the next 2. So hopefully he's got that, but his tactical play is very good. Russie's gone with a 5-3, but Russie's not a mugger. This is Russie versus Ramos. This is Russie versus Ramos. RA versus RA. I just think, again, value with South Africa. They've won 3 tournaments. They are the underdog. They don't have the pressure on them. France have got the pressure of the nation. There'll probably be 5,000 South African supporters in the crowd, and there'll be 55,000, however many the stadium takes. France will have to play exceptional rugby to beat us. I think, Russie's worked this out. I think the values with South Africa, you're getting 11 at 10, 11.5 to 10 in some places. Values with South Africa. I would have expected, if you told me South Africa were playing France early on in the tournament, I would have said South Africa probably -3. Now you're getting +1.5 or possibly +2.5 at 9 to 10. But I think the value lies in the board. Again, I'm not going to make any secret here. I've gone for all. 4 Southern Hemisphere teams. I think New Zealand, when New Zealand are over even money, I always remember that old man on that show on Saturday morning that you used to be on, the English guy, and they said, who are you backing? And he said,
Terry Payne.
Terry Payne. He said, sorry, did you say I'm getting even money New Zealand? That was his comment, and he's right. So you don't get even money New Zealand. You just don't get it. It doesn't happen. So yeah, you want to give me even money New Zealand? I'll take it. Thanks very much. Simple as that. I'm happy. It's a ridiculous price. I think it's crazy, and absolutely, I think it's huge value. So yeah, I think the value lies with the Southern Hemisphere teams. Yeah, simple as that. Right. I just think there's no value with these Northern Hemisphere teams. The tournaments in the Northern Hemisphere, there's bookmakers have priced them up there. It's all English bookmakers pricing. They're in trouble with a lot of these Northern Hemisphere teams. We're getting the value. We're getting the value. Simple as that.
Yeah, I think a fast start, if we can get off to a fast start and put France under pressure, because the other thing about the French crowd is they get on their own players' backs when things aren't going well. So you want to put them under as much pressure as possible. I think you and I are quite aligned on that one. I did the good for the game preview, Gav, and I actually tipped it at Boyles. I think it was, what was the fraction, 61-50 or something it worked out to there. Yeah. And gone for South Africa. A little bit of patriotism there, I must say as well. One thing I want to ask you, I know you've been doing some price boosts, or Couch has been getting some price boosts on games. I'm going to give you one. You don't have to give me a price now, but he's about 10-1. Tipped him in the preview. Manie Libbok to be man of the match tomorrow.
If you think that they badly price these try scorers, well, that one's even worse. These man of the matches are priced at 250 to 300%. They're robbing you. I mean, that's proper mug betting. Yeah, you can take it, but I don't know. I looked at Siya Kolisi for the tournament, and I think I took 12 or 14-1, something like that. The way I looked at that was a little bit differently to the man of the match, is that if South Africa win the tournament, Siya Kolisi can't be man of the tournament unless South Africa win. So instead of getting, another South African would have to outperform Siya. Well, he'd have to convince the judges of this so convincingly not to give this to Siya Kolisi, because they're going to give it to him if they win. So you're getting 12-1 about South Africa winning the tournament instead of the 7-2 you were getting at the time. So I think that was a bit of a shrewd play for me to take it. I only stuck 200 Rand on it, but the point is I was getting 12-1 Siya Kolisi to be man of the tournament, and realistically the only way that can happen is if they win the tournament. So I'm not.
I took exactly the same. Yeah, I took the same view on France, Gav. I mean, it nearly backfired on me with injury, but I would say it's still a runner now. I took Dupont. I think Boyles had him at something like 11-1. I took that instead of backing France to win the tournament. As I say, it nearly all unraveled because of injury. But the point being, I think, look, Ramos is going really well. I'm not saying it's a one-horse race if France win the tournament. But now, if Dupont comes back from injury and leads his team to victory, I think it's going to be bloody difficult to make it.
Yeah, it'll be difficult for them to give it to somebody else. Correct.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, that's it, Paul. So give some thought to that one. I agree with you, though. I think the margins on that one very much in the bookies' favor. But it's one of those fun markets that you can stick 50 or 100 Rand on. You don't have to get too stressed. And a lot of comments in the live chat here. And by the way, guys, thanks for joining us for this. But a lot of comments about Manie coming off. And I agree with you guys in the sense that he could well come off early, especially if things are not going well. But in that case, he ain't getting man of the match anyway. But if Manie's played well, I think he'll go deep. And let's just see. I didn't think he deserved man of the match against Scotland, and he got it. So I'm going to have a little nibble on him tomorrow, and it'll be won't be anything big, just very much an interest. But Gav, I'll go through after the 4 games and see what. Well, we'll definitely have a winner of the 250 Rand voucher. I'm just scanning through the live chat now, and we'll see who's closest. I think no one's even close to each other, so we're gonna.
I think that's the beauty of this, is that you won't have people that are close to each other, because really anything can happen. This is to get this is hell of a hard. It really is. It's hard.
Excellent. Well, anyway, thanks again to the boys in the live chat. Oracle, great chatting to you, mate. We'll be talking again soon. Enjoy tomorrow and as well, and I'm sure we'll catch up ahead of the semi-final sometime.
We will, absolutely. Next week, Brent. Thanks very much for including me. And
Excellent.
cheers to everyone. And let's go all 4 Southern Hemisphere teams at 40-1.
As has been noted in the live chat, my beer is unfortunately empty. I've been sucking on a dry bottle for a while. That's going to change in just a couple of minutes. Thanks, everyone. It's been great having your company. And can't wait for the action to begin. A little afternoon nap for me, and then I'm going to be raring to go.